All right, here we are again. Force in the Bay live. Felicia and Eddrick. Felicia, how are you?
Hey, I'm good.
Good. You ready to
Trying to get up the brightness here.
we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about. We're gonna recap the Warriors. We just got stuff to talk about. So Sports in the Bay. Felicia and Eddrick, here we go. Back for another week. Hey, what's going on, Felicia?
Look, hey, doing good. I'm in outer
Oh man.
space, just
Man,
waiting for the sun. That's crazy. It's moved just from the time we went live. It's already moved.
it has
The
moved. It's like
sunlight.
power of the
Mm-hmm.
sun. The power of the
That's
sun.
crazy.
What's up, Cindy? Hello, Cindy's corner.
Hi, Sandy.
Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Looks like my man Jamari. What's going on, Jamari? How are you, sir? Appreciate you
What up?
checking in. Appreciate you checking in.
All
Uh
right.
wow. So much going on in the world of sports, Felicia. But we all know, you are there on the scene. Will be tomorrow night. Warriors Rockets game 6. It's been a couple games since we've talked. So your thoughts
Mhm.
on the Warriors, and is this a must win?
Yeah, it is. I think that the Rockets have gotten a little bit of life, you know, having lost three in a row, two, 3 in a row, two in a
Yeah.
row,
Or two out, yeah,
and
3 out of 4.
and now they've that was the embarrassment last night. That was an they came out and punched them in the mouth, and home cooking makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Big difference when when you're sleeping in your own bed, you're your own food, you're with your families. So, the Warriors are known for doing well at home. So I think they'll put them away tomorrow, but I don't think it'll be easy. None of the really come easily for the Warriors. This young scrappy team, they're a little, you know, a little chippy.
That's playoff basketball. Steve Kerr and
Hmm.
his, I mean, of course, when you're successful, you get a lot of adulation, you get a lot of criticism. But the starting lineup on the last game, where he started Jimmy Butler, Buddy Hield, Draymond, Steph, and Brandon Twizimski. He did not start Moses Moody. I don't think Moody has started in the past couple games. And Jonathan Kaminga, I guess, was a scratch. I don't think he was available. So Kerr went small, and it cost him because they came right out of the gate and just blasted him, and they never really had a chance in that game. So overall, what do you think about Kerr and the way he juggles the lineup? Because it just seems like at times it's just not consistent. I don't know. It was interesting the starting lineup the other night.
Well, he said the last home game that they're communicating, he and his bench, and they're just plugging it in, meaning his guys. When I say the bench, I don't mean the players, but Jerry Stackhouse and the rest of the guys. He said they're just plugging it in and seeing what works. And so, if it sticks, that's what they stick with. But I found it interesting last night's game that the guys on the bench got the game within like 10 points.
They did, and had what's this, the guy that not get Pat Spencer not get thrown out, because they were on the comeback. They were down. They could have been down
Mhm.
11 from being
Mhm.
down 28, something like that.
Mhm.
And then he
Mhm.
headbutted, which I didn't hear. I'm assuming he just got suspended. I mean, ejected.
Yeah,
I don't think they
I didn't
suspended
hear
him.
anything else yet. I didn't hear a
Yeah,
fine or anything like that.
yeah. I didn't think there was a
Yeah.
suspension, but because Houston had to put their starters back in. If
Mhm.
you noticed, so
Mhm.
but yeah, I'm not surprised that Houston beat the Warriors. I was a little surprised at just how easy it was because the game was over after the first 4 or 5 minutes. It was a wrap. I
I
mean,
was listening in the car and like, is it even worth me watching at this point? My brother was texting me. He was like, "What in the HELL hockey sticks is going on?" But it's to be
yeah,
expected. You got two here at home, and then they go home. And they're
Right.
comfortable at home. And so, and their backs are against the wall as well. So naturally, they're fighting to stay in the playoffs, and they'll be tough. They'll be tough tomorrow
Yeah.
for sure. And
Yeah.
they'll be focusing on Steph's thumb
Right.
like they were doing then. And Jimmy's not, you know, who would think that a butt injury would be so limiting? But yeah.
Yeah, it's lower back glute contusion. But Jimmy, looking at the stats from the other night, he went 2 of 8, had 8 points, no 3 pointers, was a -23, but he healed 2 of 6, was a -22. Draymond went 3 of 4 from the field, but he was -29. So the starters didn't do anything, because if you look at the bench, Kevin Knox +14, Pat Spencer +13, Trace Jackson Davis +12, who hasn't really sniffed the court that much at all. Trace Jackson Davis,
Oh, yeah.
uh, who was playing great earlier this year,
Yeah.
but he's kind of fallen out of the rotation. But I think, and as Jamari said, I see you, Jamari. Yeah, it's a must win, because I don't think you want to go back to Houston with a game 7. Uh,
Oh, no. No.
mm-mm, mm-mm,
No. Mm-mm.
no.
Not with these
So
young cats. Not with these young
right,
cats. Mm-mm. And
exactly,
they're
exactly.
coached well. They got to. I mean, they're coaches who the Warriors faced when he was a Celtics head coach. The
Right,
last time the Warriors won a championship, it was that
exactly.
coach. It was against that coach. So he's
Hmm.
got a vendetta on his own.
Yeah, and the stars played well. I mean, Amin Thompson was +32. Dylan Brooks was +25. Sengun was +23. So the starters just dominated. I mean, they just
And
literally
Jalen Green still
dominated.
hasn't had a game yet since like maybe
Game
the
2, I
second
think it
game.
was.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He had a
yeah,
breakout. He's due. He's due for a
yeah,
breakout.
yeah, and so yeah, the Warriors. It was typically on the defensive end that they had the problems, because as we all know, and we've talked about this a lot on the show. When the Warriors are at their best, when they're winning championships, they are a defensive oriented team, top two, three,
Mhm.
four defense.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that didn't happen the other night. Say what you will. Their defense was just shredded, and easily shredded.
Yeah,
So
and usually GP2, they just weren't clicking last night. They just weren't clicking.
mm-mm, mm-mm. So
Sometimes you have those nights. So they need to put them away tomorrow, because let me tell you that that young Minnesota team, woo, 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 it ain't
wow.
gonna get no easier if they win.
No,
Cause
no, no.
man, that boy, that
Well, Anthony Edwards,
Edwards is a
he's
problem.
he's that dude. And
Hmm.
and the scary part is they single-handedly beat the Lakers last night, and he really didn't have a good game. You know, he he
Right,
he was
right.
just he was they were terrible from the three-point line, but that team,
Mhm.
Rudy Gobert turned into, Moses Malone, and
Oh,
27 and 24. Um,
all that teasing they were doing about him being a mark because he cried about not making the All-Star game, and now look at him now.
yeah.
He's
Yeah, they
got the
had no
last
answer.
laugh.
No answer.
Yeah,
Since
Lakers
we
look
brought it
bad.
up, your take on the Lakers, and you know, building around Luca, and people forget, LeBron has a player option. So there's no guarantee that he's going to be with the Lakers next year, and Luca is not guaranteed to be locked up either. So,
They'll stay.
uh,
It's Hollywood.
you know, uh,
They'll stay.
say what you will about LeBron. I think to
Mm.
me, he's the greatest athlete in terms of controlling his own destiny that I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
That I've
Everywhere
ever
he
seen.
goes, he makes a difference. And he can't go back to Cleveland because he'll mess up he'll mess up that energy the young guys got going
Oh yeah.
over there, with Donovan. And yeah, he can't
Oh
go
yeah.
back home. No, he can't
No,
go back
they
home.
don't need him. They don't need him.
Mm-mm.
And unlike most superstars, unlike most stars who have played 20 some odd years, LeBron's never been a bench player either. He's never come off the bench. So, you know, if you think about it and just gaming it out, if he turned into a bench player, sixth, seventh
Mm,
man, he could play 2, 3, 4 more years.
sure could.
He
But
could.
his ego won't let him.
No,
He'd be like,
no.
what that was Carmelo that didn't want to come off the bench, right?
Right. There's been a
Not
few
Carmelo,
guys.
yeah. Oh, of course, but I was thinking, one of his homeboys, and so I thought of Carmelo. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, you're right. Several
Well,
guys.
rewind to last year with the Warriors because you remember they went through that with Clay, and Clay went to the bench and wasn't starting, and they actually were playing pretty well. So
They
I
sure
think
were.
everybody has to face that at some point. But
Hmm.
for Laker fans, I'd be a little nervous until Luca is locked up because he's not locked up contractually, and again with LeBron owning the player option. Um, there's no guarantee.
They'll just keep that headline going. They're not going anywhere. They like JJ Redick is his boy, and yeah, well,
Yeah, yeah,
LeBron to the Bay. No, you want some of this, old man? Nope,
yeah. It's too much.
nope.
Man. You can't play three guys $50 million a year. You got
Mm-mm.
Jimmy, you got Steph,
I don't want you.
uh, you got LeBron would be playing. Yeah, although it would be
He
tasty.
it would be tasty, but he would learn today how much the Bay loves Steph Curry, and that he would have to play second fiddle, and I don't think he would like that.
Yeah, right, right.
KD learned that. KD learned that real quick. That this
Yeah,
is, you know, we all of our boys are homegrown and drafted. They're not guys that we got through free agency.
exactly.
They're homegrown. You
Yeah,
know.
and that's the way to do it. That's what OKC did. If you look at the core outside of Donovan Mitchell, all those guys in Cleveland were drafted. The young guys, the big,
Mm.
except for one of the big centers was traded, but
You're talking about the
teams are
one
doing
with
it
the
with the fro.
right
Yeah,
with the front. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's what I
yeah,
was
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
say.
yeah. He was because he started out with Brooklyn, I believe, but
I think he did. He
yeah,
did. Yeah.
but yeah, you look at the draft, and right now nobody's really touching OKC.
Oh my word.
Yeah, I think they're the favorite. Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah, yeah, easy, easy.
ooh. And they
Um,
wait a minute. OKC, they're still playing, right?
no, they're waiting. They
They
swept Memphis, and now they're
oh,
waiting. They've
that's
been
right.
waiting. They'll be waiting about almost 10 days because you still have to lock up the Denver and Clipper series, which they
LA.
play tonight.
Mm.
They'll
Yeah,
be
the
they'll be
other
kicking off
LA
in about an
team,
hour.
I'm sure they're
Right,
laughing at the Lakers. Shoot, the
right.
Clippers look good.
They did.
Clippers
They
look
did.
good.
Yeah. I think they got. We'll see. I think they let a couple of them get away, but in Denver,
Yeah,
give
they
Denver
did.
credit. Denver, you remember they fired their coach. Everybody kind of went crazy. How can you fire a coach going into the playoffs?
Yeah, Mark Malone, right. I
But
forgot
they've been
all
playing
about
well.
that.
They've
They've
been
been
playing
holding
well.
it together.
Yeah, they won the other night. They won easily, and I think Joker only had like 15 points or something like that because
Hmm.
Jamal Murray went off. So with like 40, 42, 43. So
Yeah, that kid's nice. As long as he can
yeah,
just stay healthy, you know.
exactly,
He kind of
exactly.
reminds me of the kid in New York. Watched a little bit of the Knicks game today, and boy, that boy not. He's always getting hurt. The one
Oh, Jalen
was
Brunson.
go.
Brunson, yeah,
He came
yeah,
limping off the court again. I'm like, goodness,
yeah. He's and
it's
they rely on him too for
a
a good part of their
lot, a,
offense.
a lot, a
Mm-hmm.
lot. Then they got the
Mm-hmm.
kid that I like from Brooklyn. What's that kid's name?
Oh,
I
Mikal
love
Bridges.
his game. Yeah, I like that
Oh no,
kid.
Bridges I think came from. Well, no, yeah, Bridges I think came from Brooklyn
He
through because he went
came from
Phoenix, and then
Brooklyn.
I think he was in the KD trade. I believe
Mm,
that's how that went down. Um,
yeah,
yeah, and Anunoby is nice, and Carl Anthony Towns can play.
look at
Um,
Cat. Look at Cat. Act like he got some backbone.
yeah, playing with fire
Okay,
and
and
energy
fighting
and big
people.
man
Draymond
skills.
said, yeah, Draymond said he was talking smack, and then he liked that. Wait a minute, let me go back to Carl Anthony Towns. Not Carl Anthony Towns. What's the other one that has Trace Jackson Davis? Did you see Draymond grinning when he saw
Yeah,
him get in the fisticuffs? He came in
yeah,
there after his got Spencer, and
yeah.
Draymond's like, he loves some fighting. I like
That
it too.
mess.
I
He
like
likes
it
the
too.
mess. He like
Yeah,
well, as
I
long as
like
he
it.
doesn't get thrown out, it's okay. But
Ugh.
I know I don't know if you watched uh Gilbert Arenas' podcast and shout out
You know
to
what?
Gilbert and his son. Yeah.
Shout out to you though. I like it now. Remember I told you I didn't like it?
Right. I
Shout
remember.
out to you, E. I'll be
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
I like the podcast
They
now.
have some great discussions, and we'd be remiss if we didn't, want to wish Gil and his family all the best. With it seems like his son is
Absolutely.
going to be okay after his car
Absolutely.
accident. So thank God for that. But
Yes.
they were
Yes.
Kenyon Martin was talking about how he thinks Draymond, it's time for him to stop all that foolishness at his age, and
I agree.
and
I
I mean that's
agree.
the way he plays. I get it, but yeah, he can't get thrown out of the game, and it's too critical right now. So
Man,
hopefully,
he ran after a ref last home game, and he looked like I'm sorry to use this word, but he like a big huge gorilla running after the way he was running after that. It was scary. I was like, please don't get kicked out the game. The way he was running up on that ref from behind,
yeah.
it wouldn't have surprised me if they would have fined him.
Oh,
Like
I'm
he looked
sure.
so aggressive, and
I'm
I'm like,
sure.
and they end up giving him a T. But what scared me the way he was running behind him, like it was really like he was about to put hands on that referee.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, Warriors are in for. I think it's going to be a difficult game. Uh,
Yes,
they,
I did. I liked Gil. I said, "Damn, where do you get that from?" Gil was always nice to me when I was an intern. Stop it.
Gil was a nice player. For those youngsters out there who may not know,
Ooh,
Agent Zero could ball. He was great as a basketball player. Drafted by the
man,
Warriors, made his name
came
in
up with Larry
Washington.
Hughes. Yeah,
Yeah, but Gilbert Arenas was
yeah,
nice as a
yeah.
player. He could
He
ball.
never talks about playing for the Warriors. Never.
I know. Well, you remember he didn't start. When he was drafted, he didn't start that first year. I
It
don't
was
believe. I
Larry
think he came
Hughes,
off the
right?
bench. I believe so. And
Ooh, those are bad years.
but yeah,
Bad years.
shout out to his podcast because it's very entertaining. And I like it when they have the
The ladies on there, I like that.
yeah, some really
Hmm.
great basketball insight, basketball
Hmm.
minds. And they have great conversations, and they're not afraid to
Great.
address the issues. So
No, they're
shout out to
not.
Rosarina.
Just take
Hmm.
off the gown. I still don't like him. Oh, I can't stand him. Rashawn McCants.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mm-mm.
all
He's
good. All right, so you'll
Mm.
be there.
That's who I don't like, Jamari. That's who I don't like. Is Rashawn
Uh,
McCants.
you'll be at the Warrior game tomorrow night, right?
Yes, I will.
All right, all
Dave and
right.
I will be there.
And
And
always look for everything on Sports in the Bay, our Facebook page. Felicia's always posting insights and analysis and video. So please like our Sports in the Bay Facebook page and
please,
Instagram
we
and all
need
the
more
other.
followers, please.
Absolutely,
We have a
absolutely.
lot of eyes on us, but
Yes,
we need to see it because when you like and subscribe, don't just look and keep it moving.
correct.
We need that support, and we
Exactly.
appreciate it. To watch first
Uh,
place, so thank you.
let's see. You want to move on now to last time we were on? We were in Shadur Sanders' watch, and
Mm,
we were shocked but I guess all of that's kind of under the bridge now, and he was drafted 140 whatever by Cleveland,
144th in the fifth round.
right? By the Browns of
Uh,
all teams.
and
Your
they've
thoughts?
already got a crap load of quarterbacks,
Exactly.
including
Um,
Deshaun Watson.
yeah,
So, but you
yeah,
know what? He's a believer as we are believers. And God always works that thing out. So it's going to work out for him. They're praying people, and, they leaned on their faith as they just constantly got disrespected, and people with less talent got chosen over him, almost as if to show him a lesson for having a father behind you. Isn't that something? I can't
yeah,
help but think of LeBron James and LeVar Ball. It's an issue when you have a father that's got your back, but when you come from a broken home and a single mom, they seem to not be threatened by that, the
right,
powers that be.
right.
So
Do you think? Do you think he and his team shouldered any of the blame for that? I mean, there's all these reports out there. Who knows what's true? But the
mhm.
reports are that he was treating it like they needed him more than he needed them. Dion had made comments several months ago about which teams he was not going to play for.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that, to me, the NFL is a behemoth, and they're going to do what they're going to do. But now that he's got the opportunity, bro, you better ball out. Um, you know, you've got to ball out because I
Yeah.
think the NFL changed the rule because of Brock Purdy, where they can carry three quarterbacks on game day. One of them is inactive unless it's an emergency
Oh,
quarterback. Yeah, remember when Brock got hurt in the
the Super
playoffs,
Bowl. Was it
right?
Super
Or
Bowl
in the
playoffs?
NFC Championship game
Play.
against the
Yeah,
Eagles.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, and they were down to McCaffrey and somebody else's quarterback, and both of their quarterbacks got hurt. Well, the NFL
Hmm.
changed the rule now where on game day, teams can carry three quarterbacks if just one of them is quote unquote designated the emergency quarterback, right?
Hmm.
So for Shadur Sanders to be on an NFL roster, he's got to beat out all those cats that are on Cleveland. And remember, they still have Deshaun Watson,
They still
right?
have Deshaun Watson,
They have
and then
Joe Flacco.
they've got
Let me pull it up because
they've
I want
got
to see
like
who is going to
four. Mm, they got a lot. They got a lot.
Yeah, I want to see who they have, and because who could he theoretically beat out, right? So I'm bringing up the depth chart. Let's see, roster, and can I get to the quarterbacks? Is it sortable? There we go. So they've got. Oh yeah, I forgot they got Kenny Pickett too. You remember Kenny Pickett was the
Huh.
draft choice of the Steelers a couple years ago. They traded him to Philly. He got a ring backing up Jalen Hurts, and now he's with Cleveland.
Mm.
So they've got Deshaun Watson, Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco,
Mm.
and the two quarterbacks they drafted, which one of which is Shadur Sanders. So five QBs, two spots in a practice squad theoretically. Is Shadur Sanders better than, or will he be able to beat out? Because he's with the way things went down, in my opinion, he's got to be head and shoulders above everybody else. He can't be
Yes, he
marginal.
does. Yes, he does. Yes, he
He can't
does.
be marginal
He
in one
really
spot.
can't. And I wonder if they're gonna do what's the show that they do on HBO
Oh, Hard
when they
Knocks.
follow the team? Yeah,
Hard
I
Knocks.
wonder if they're gonna do that.
Let
Hard
me see. Let me
knocks.
see who's Hard Knocks this year. Because I'm sure the Giants won't be doing it anymore after last year, that
Ah.
Saquon Barkley fiasco. Hard Knocks
Woo, woo.
2025. It is going to be uh have they decided yet? Who is Hard Knocks 2025? Let's see. Who is it going to be? So Hard Knocks, let's see. No, that was I'm not seeing it. So if you're out there, if you know,
Yeah,
who
if you guys
is
know, let us know.
yeah, who's the Hard Knocks team? maybe they haven't decided yet. Um, yeah, because last thing I saw was the Falcons were a contender, but
Oh,
no.
oh, that would be interesting,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it would. Yeah, it would.
Uh,
Yeah, it
all
would.
right, that's a nice segue.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
mm,
So yeah,
speaking of
let's look up.
Shador,
Right. So let's see what happens with Shadur Sanders. You wanted to talk about the and Kathy, I see you. Kathy's already ahead. We've got that on the list. She has a comment about Tyrese Halliburton's father. So we'll get to that in a second.
oh, that's
So thank you,
interesting.
Kathy. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I didn't tell her. It's just a
she,
coincidence that she
that's what
happened to
people are talking
mention
about.
that.
That's what everybody's talking about.
Uh, oh,
But let's go quickly before we leave Shooter Sanders. You wanted to touch in on the prank call from Jeff Ulbricht's son. Uh,
yeah, and I'm wondering. Okay, well, his son thought. Oh, I guess his son saw his laptop open and got the information for Shador Sanders, and then pretended like he was someone from the New Orleans Saints drafting him, and they knew that no one would have that number, so it had to be an inside job. Jeff Ulbrich was a linebacker for the 49ers.
correct. That is
And
correct.
yeah, and he gave her, well, his son apologized and did, the tweet thing or whatever. But he held a press conference and was fined. I think he was fined like 100,000.
Oh yeah, the NFL gotten that. You know what? They fined him personally, Jeff Ulbrich, $100,000,
Yeah,
and they fined the
right.
team $250,000. So yeah, they were not
But I'm
playing.
gonna need your son to talk.
Yeah,
But the complexion for the protection,
yeah,
because
yeah.
it would
As
have
the
been a
great Paul
whole
Mooney used
nother
to say.
ball game.
Say, as the great Paul
Whole
Mooney used to say. Um, but yeah, one, I don't think the NFL can do anything to the son because he's
because
not an
he's in
employee.
college.
Well,
Okay.
that and he's not really his dad. Yes, because that's what they did. They got in that
Well, his
got him for
father should
100K.
have.
But you
Yeah.
know, it just what makes you think that that's funny? First of all, what kind of mindset are you in to think that that's even funny to do something like that?
And he's
Yeah,
like 21, 22.
he's in college for sure, for sure.
Like, I mean, I guess it's some like Animal House frat boy type of thinking. Uh, yeah, just stupid. I think, the hateration that's already out there for Shador, just like it was for the ball kids, you know, LeVar
Yeah,
Ball in
yep,
particular.
yep,
And everyone wants to see a loudmouth kid fail,
yeah,
while confident, a
right.
confident, or what they see as arrogant. You said something earlier about, did I feel as though DM have taken accountability as well? They definitely should. They wouldn't. They're not going to. But yeah, Shador brought some of that on himself. Most definitely. I'm not caping for him 100%. No, because I cringe when I see legendary, and you're talking like that and you haven't even taken a snap yet, but you're calling
Right.
yourself legendary. It's nothing wrong with being confident, but there's a certain type of little arrogance that comes with it, that's probably threatening to owners of the team. Is it going to be a problem? Is his father going to be a problem? Probably. I can't see. He's got a team to coach, so I don't think that he would be an issue. But you know, I
It's
guess
something.
it took them 2 days to figure out. It took him. I mean, the last pick. I mean, he's Mr.
Well, they
Irrelevant.
said it cost him $30 million between what because the first round, because they're slotted now, the salary cap, all first round picks, everything's
Oh,
pretty much
my
slotted now.
Lord, my Lord.
And first rounders, I think, especially at quarterback, probably would have made
Mm,
over like a 4 or 5 year deal about 30 mil, 35 mil. So that's gone.
mm,
And as a fifth round pick, now, granted, he's walking around with what $50,000 worth of ice on his wrist, so he's probably not that worried about it right now.
exactly.
Um,
Right.
but
Right.
yeah, it was a healthy chunk of change that they cost him by
Hmm.
falling the way he did. So
Hmm.
it's just going to set up another. Say what you will about the NFL. Uh, Something about that league always has all the drama, all the
Hmm.
big stories, even in the off season, even when the draft. I mean, the NFL, people talk about it every single day. And it's for whatever reason, there's just they just get the
Yeah.
eyeballs. They get the eyeballs.
Yeah, it really gives a good old boy, ugh, and the whole Kaepernick thing, and yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yep, yep, yep.
yeah.
As we keep it moving, yeah, Mr. Halliburton. Oh boy.
Ah!
Uh, your thoughts?
Oh, you need to sit your behind down somewhere and stop being such a fan. I know you are you are happy for your son, but honey, he makes T Morant look like a choir boy, a altar boy. Cause this is interesting because in watching the playoffs, I would see like a kid, like he was just like so groupish to his son after the game. So like, okay, Dad, kind of like pipe down a little bit. You know, he's jumping around and patting him on the. And I'm like, is that his dad? I'm
Yeah.
seeing him in the in the frame after the games, and I'm like, he is really hype. He doing too much. He need to act like he been to the party before.
Well,
And
he ran up on
so
the right guy because Giannis was a gentleman too, as you say, Kathy. Giannis was gracious, but let him run up on the wrong cat and
Matt
do something
Barnes
like that.
said he would have knocked the blink of the blank out of him. That's what Matt Barnes said. No, Matt Barnes said
Oh, he's talking about
he would have hit Dylan. I'm sorry,
Dylan
I got
Brooks.
the people.
Right, right,
He would have
right.
hit him too. He would have hit
But
his father too.
there's a
Matt would
good
have hit his
portion of
father.
guys in the NBA that would not have been as gracious as Giannis. And you
Yeah.
know, when you're not the player and you're not the one scoring the baskets, you have to kind of put that in consideration because let's
Mhm.
face it, Indiana hasn't done anything but won a playoff series. I mean,
Mhm.
you know, I don't know. I
They
don't know.
said that on first take that he's been Stephen A was saying he is a problem, that a lot of the players and agents have complained about him. So
Yeah,
he is and if you look at him, he's definitely not his son's height. So he's living through his son because he looks like a fella compared,
right.
I'm surprised he's got a kid so tall. And the poor mother, you see the mother's face? You can
Yeah,
tell
she was in
she
shock.
she knows she can't control him. And she gave him a little pat, like pat, don't do that. And I'm like, I'm laughing to myself because honey, a sister would have had him by his ear. What are you embarrassing all of us?
All of us.
Don't do this on national television. But she was like, that woman looked so worried. It was all in her face. But it spoke volumes that the young man apologized and said that his father was basically out of line for what he did. Because everyone knows Giannis is he's a gentleman. And you would walk to him after the game and talk smack. I was really disappointed in Shaq. Shaq has lost me this season, and I always really spoke highly of Shaq. But Shaq has said some things this season that made me not like him so much no more. Yeah, he was taking up for the man,
Yeah, he's
and
provocative. I think
I
that's
think he
just
did
him
it on
kind of
purpose.
trolling. I think he's
Mhm.
trolling a little bit. Because
Mhm.
let's face it, he wouldn't have run up on Shaq. He
Ooh.
wouldn't have run up on Barkley. You know,
Oh, he
he
had the right one.
that's what I'm
He had
saying.
the right
Because
one. Mhm.
that could have been
Mhm.
ugly. I mean, that
He
could
wouldn't have
have
ran up
been
on Draymond. He wouldn't have ran up on
right.
Draymond. Mm-mm.
Right. And so the NBA has taken
Mm.
action, according to Bleacher Report, who always reports from Sham Charania. Shams is the guy. I mean, Sham Charania gets all the
Shams,
scoops, whatever.
Shams don't get his just due. Yeah, he
Shams is
doesn't
so
get it.
Bleacher Report reported via ESPN Sham Charania today that
Mouthful.
Indiana's front office decided that John Halliburton should not attend the team's home or road games for an indefinite amount of time. Mr. Halliburton was understanding and accepted the choice per Shams. And so it seems like he's made amends. And but the NBA
Should
is like,
be
you can't come around for
embarrassing
a
this
while.
out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You
Um,
better lay low.
man,
No,
man,
that's
it
a
took
good
away from me. It
thing.
took away from Indiana's get. They let's
His
well
son,
okay.
his son had a
Let,
great game.
let me take this angle.
Mm.
The happiest person for all of this has to be Doc Rivers because ain't nobody talking
Ah,
about Doc.
ah, yes,
Doc to
that he
tiptoes
got
out of the
kicked
back.
out.
Oh, y'all ain't talking about me. I'm gonna tip out over
Yeah,
here and
right,
I'm
right.
gonna
Or
step
maybe
out.
my job is in jeopardy or whatever. Probably not. They probably he's
I
probably
don't know. Doc's
is in jeopardy. What's his
ooh.
contract doing? I don't know.
I'm not sure what his but I don't. I mean, to them cats, them rich guy, it don't matter. You know, they'll pay him to go away.
Man,
But yeah, but Doc's, whoo, they blew a what 7 points in 30 seconds or something like that.
that's
Um,
bad. That's bad.
yeah.
Oh,
So,
you know he's like, keep on chirping. Come on, Halliburton. Keep
right,
on chirping.
I ain't got nothing to say. So, because nobody talked
Yeah.
about Doc
Ain't
Rivers leaving the playoffs
nobody
again.
saying nothing about Doc
Uh,
Rivers.
nope,
Nothing.
nope,
Nothing.
nope, nope.
Nothing.
And
No,
and
that's
we got to say shout out to Dame Lillard.
oh wow.
Devastating injury. Wishing him all the speed. That's all of next year. Probably he'll be gone.
Yep, yeah,
Uh,
that's a Clay slash Kobe,
yeah, the
injury. That's
Achilles.
a whole season. That Achilles. When he hit the court, like
Yeah,
made me
it
think of
always seems to
KD.
be. Yeah, like KD, like Clay, like others. It always seems to
Hmm.
go from a calf injury or something to the Achilles. It just seems to go hand in
Uh,
hand, and yeah, it's just I don't know. And Giannis said, we kind of disappointed about Dame because, and he kind of let the cat out of the bag. Said maybe he came back too early. I was kind of surprised Giannis said
oh
that.
wow.
Yeah, but he said that he may have come back too soon, and so yeah, that was a wild day and a wild situation. I've never
There's
seen anything like that.
yeah, they're snake bitten. He comes back from the blood clot situation, and then you know, and then bam, this
Yeah,
happens,
yeah.
and it just I don't know. It's just Jalen standing 10 toes down. Who's Jalen?
Maybe she's referring to Jalen. I don't know. Kathy, a little bit more context. Jalen, which Jalen are you referring
It,
to? But but yeah, it's injuries are part of sports, and it- even when because I play 2K, right, NBA 2K, and
mm,
I always turn, and for gamers out there, I know Jamar's watching whatever. I always turn injuries off. I don't even deal with it when I'm playing my seasons. I just turn it off. I know you can't do that in real life, but it's
oh,
so
I probably
devastating.
would do that too. I probably would do that if
It's
I was
so
playing.
devastating,
Hmm.
because your whole season, next year's season, and whether it's football or basketball or whatever sport, when a star player gets injured and is out, it just
Hmm.
it's just a bad situation,
Yeah, it
for the game.
is. I
So,
think it's a. I think it might be. It's. I mean, they're gonna mortgage the team to try to keep Giannis in Milwaukee. It's not a destination spot. You know, if people don't want to go to Miami of all places right now because of Pat Riley, they're sure the hell's not going to want to go to Milwaukee.
Right.
So, you know, it Dame's probably out of there, but you know, who's going to take him on the heels of an Achilles?
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah, he's
who's
probably the timeline is he's probably because and it's so devastating when guys get hurt in the playoffs. Just like going back to like we
mm,
talked about Brock Purdy and others, or even going back to the Super Bowl with Dre Greenlaw with the Niners. When you get
mm,
hurt this late in the season, it just totally takes you
mm-hmm,
out of the whole next year.
mm-hmm.
So literally, we're looking at him maybe missing the entire season next year.
I
And
mean, if
Dame's
he did come back, it would be playoffs.
exactly. And how old is Dame in this? He's 30
Dame's
something
about
now, right?
he's
Let me
about
pull
34, 33,
uh
34,
he is
right?
34. So,
Mm-hmm.
he'll be 35. He'll turn 35 in July.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
This
Yeah.
July. So you look at it, of course he can come back. All these guys are great athletes. They can come back, but Dame's not
And the
getting any younger.
ultimate doctors and trainers. But exactly, exactly. You know,
Right.
the timeline for him and Steph and Draymond and Jimmy, they're on the other
Yeah.
side of 30 now.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Because, you know, on a, you know, Steph and his thumb, because Dylan Brooks let it all be known that they're focusing on Steph's thumb, and it really showed last night. But, you know, you can't keep him down.
nah.
I
He'll
never
shoot the he'll just shoot with
underestimate
the other
him.
hand. He'll just shoot with the other hand.
Man, I'm telling you,
He shoot
he
left-handed.
wants you to think he's down so he can reach down and bring some whole nother just leave you with your mouth
Exactly.
open.
Exactly.
I can't
Exactly.
believe that I still sit there with my mouth open
Yeah.
after all these years. I still sit there like we
And you've
both just
seen it up
all look
close.
at each other.
You've seen it closer than most people. You're there. You've seen it in
Man,
practice and in other places. So,
I tell you. Yeah, in practice, I've even seen him with the velocity that he in practice. I'm just like, dang.
hmm,
And that was in Oakland the last time that I've seen him in practice. I haven't had a chance to get out to the new spot. Somehow I keep missing the email. And I keep going, I'm not getting the email. I'm not getting the email about practice.
you got
But
to get in
yeah,
Raymond's face. Huh? You got to jam up Raymond.
yeah, that's Mike Ravina and Brett Winkler is
Oh,
doing.
okay.
Raymond's
Okay.
got other stuff to be concerned about. Yeah, I'm just like, hello, can I? Well, thank God they're bringing Jimmy to the press conferences now. So now we're able to interview Jimmy. Because remember, I hadn't seen Jimmy until a couple of games ago. I had never laid
Yeah.
eyes on him.
He wasn't
He
at the podium.
doesn't come out
Mm-mm.
pregame and shoot with the team.
Mm-mm.
He doesn't do it. You know, he does everything downstairs. You know, now in the new arena, the workout court is connected to the locker room. So
I see.
yeah, he's doing that.
Huh.
Yeah, he's working
Well,
out. But
we have some context for Kathy. What she was talking about is Jalen Hurts not going to the White House to meet with
mm,
the president, and Saquon Barkley's getting some pushback now for his associations with 47, and always risky for brothers to cozy up next to that cat. A lot of folks look at you sideways, bro.
I knew
Um,
something was amiss when the orange faced man had to say that he came out and said showed pictures of him golfing with him, and then he goes, oh, he's so ignorant. He says he's a very nice person. That sounds like my 6-year-old grandniece talks better than that.
Yeah,
She's talking about her
yeah,
friends. It just sounds. And I said something is amiss, and then sure enough, it showed that they had gone to the White House. So he was
yeah,
hanging on that. He was hanging on that. That he came and I mean, we know Saquon's makeup, so it's not
yeah.
surprising.
I just think and granted, there does seem to be a thing around certain tax brackets and
Mm,
brothers that pal up to that guy. But look, you can't separate the destruction and the person in the office. I mean, they are literally taking a wrecking ball to the norms and customs of my opinion, democracy in general, and more specifically, literally trying to set back entire groups of people, whether culturally, economically, educationally. It's blatant, and so when you tie your flag to somebody like that, you're literally co-signing that, and I think that's a problem to
mm-hmm.
me.
Agreed.
Um,
Agreed.
but we'll see if it affects him. In some quarters, it might boost him a little bit, right?
Yeah,
Let's
in
be
some
real.
quarters. But and back to the man in charge, you're focused on the wrong. See, he's focused on the wrong things. He wants to prove. Well, see, the Philadelphia Eagles did come to the White House. Some of them did. I mean, I didn't see anybody that looked like me that went to the White House when I saw the picture. So,
Yeah,
you've got half of the team. Who wants half of a team? You want the whole team to come support and show up at the White House. But naturally, he's not thinking that way. He's gonna boost his own self. Well, Saquon came and he played golf with me, and he's a real great guy. He's a nice
yeah,
guy.
yeah. I just you just gotta be careful who's co-signing for you, and because it's just a weird time we're in right now, and
Mm,
it's blatant and intentional what's going on from our leaders, and there's definitely a plan that's being, as they say, effectuated right now.
I
So
like that.
you
Yeah,
know, we'll
effectuated.
we'll leave it there. That's my word for today. Effectuate. I didn't have
Mm-hmm.
a word today. Um. So yeah, but moving on. George Kittle, shout out,
Mm.
got the bag. He got his bag. What? 4
Yeah, he
years,
did.
70 something million, highest paid tight end in football, well deserved. On and off the field, George Kittle is one of them guys, and he should
Mm-hmm.
get his gold jacket ready because he will definitely
Mm-hmm.
be going into the NFL Hall of Fame for sure. First time,
For
first ballot
sure.
Hall of Famer. Uh, Brock's still not signed yet.
Ooh.
Um,
Oof.
no Brock Purdy yet. They drafted a quarterback too. So we
Yeah.
shall see. We shall
Gotta
see.
make that money available.
Yeah, or trade him to Pittsburgh for a pick. I don't know. Hello.
Ah, that's
Uh,
funny.
we'll see.
We'll see.
Well, uh, as we had talked about earlier before we came on, this is going to be a somewhat abbreviated session. So, due to some other commitments we have, but let me get your final thoughts on Warriors and Rockets game 6. You'll be in the building. What do you think's going to happen?
It's gonna be a dog fight. I think the Warriors will pull it out. I do because they've got the experience.
Yeah,
Everyone wants a lot on the age. I get so tired of hearing about that age. They're still young men, and they're experienced young men. So I think that they will prevail over this young, scrappy team that has, West is really going to be a problem with them in the future. They've got a lot of talent, but the Warriors will pull it out tomorrow. If
yeah.
they don't, ooh, you don't want to go back to Houston.
And not put it in the hands of the referees. And I don't know who's refing tomorrow, but if
Oh my goodness! Thank you for saying that.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who's roughing
They don't
tomorrow.
like Golden State. And they
I
don't
haven't
like
seen
Steph
Scott
Curry.
Foster in any. Is Scott Foster refereeing this year?
That's a good question.
I haven't seen him anywhere this year. So um,
Huh.
let's see. Let's see. He isn't working
Ooh,
as
I wonder who's
so.
refereeing tomorrow.
Oh, okay, so Sam, according to SF Gate, I guess he got hurt in the Knicks Heat game. But
Okay.
the Knicks a couple of weeks ago or something. I don't know, but hmm.
Because when I
He hasn't
tell
worked any
you,
Warriors playoff games. So
well, I'm telling you that they do not have no love for Golden State at
mm-mm.
all. I don't know how Steph does it. Like Jimmy Butler said, he said, I've never seen anything like it. He does not
Mm-mm.
get calls. I mean, Steph is she's like a rag doll out there.
Yeah, playing ping pong with him, and
They're
because
playing ping pong with him. Yeah,
so we'll know
for
by
sure.
I think the referees are announced like 1 o'clock on the day of the game or something like that. I think before 1 p.m. or 10 a.m. or something like that. They
Hmm.
announce who's going to be reffing. So keep an eye out on who's refereeing Game 6 tomorrow because depending on who the referee is, they might be going back to Houston on Sunday, on Saturday or
Right.
Sunday.
And
So
that's why they gotta make them play their game. And they can't be, you can't be playing the game depending on you know, uh, on the referee's call with
right,
turnovers, and, miscues and all that. You can't, it's just like ball. When you got that missed field goal, is it gonna come back and bite you in the butt at the end of the game? You don't want to depend on that.
exactly.
So,
My key player for tomorrow night, Quentin Post. When he's hitting threes, they're pretty much unstoppable.
woo! That
So
big boy,
you can shoot. You can
that
shoot
big
that
boy
ball.
is nice.
Remember we going back. I know Wags. Shout out to Wags. I've told you, Wags. We talked about it several months ago. I said
Sure
if he can
did.
if he can
That you
If
did.
he's can make a difference. He just got to get a little tougher around the rim, finishing,
Yeah,
rebounding,
yeah.
a little bit stronger. He's going to be
Hmm.
a problem if he can
He's going
develop.
to be a problem.
He can develop. So
Because the other
yeah,
night he couldn't, he struggled a little bit because I was like, please stop taking that outside shot. And he didn't really do, but the game before, oh, he
yeah,
was,
and he looks comfortable
Wills
as
is
a
nice.
rookie. He looks comfortable
Yes,
giving
he
direction
does.
on the defensive end. He's been involved. So I think they got a good one there. If he stays healthy and they can beef him up a little bit and he can learn to be a little more physical, yeah, they've got a
Hmm.
good one going down the road because yeah, he's got that.
Yeah, they
He could
do.
be a Jokic kind of player where he can hit that three, he can play the
I
big
agree with
man.
that.
Yeah, so
I will
but all
just
right.
see how Jimmy's gonna do.
Yeah. Did he practice
Because
today?
Jimmy's pretty beat up. He's pretty beat up, but
Do
he's
we know if
not.
you do we know if you practiced today?
I don't know, but he'll go out there even if it's with one butt cheek. He'll
He
he'll
said it's just
still.
no, Jimmy did not practice today.
Mm,
They held him out to give him a chance to heal. Oh wait, no, that was a couple days ago. I'm sorry. That was a couple days ago. So I don't know if he practiced today or not. So we'll
well, he
see.
needs to rest. He needs to sit it out. He needs to rest.
Yeah.
Jimmy needs he needs to rest, and that they're not gonna stop him though, because this adrenaline is gonna keep him. He walked in the press conference. I would have never known he was in pain.
Mm,
'Cause
mm,
he wasn't limping or anything like that. He is, yeah.
yeah. Tough guys. So
They're
well,
professionals.
they are. They are. So should we get ready tomorrow, Felicia? We will look forward to checking back in. Shout out to the great Dave Gagona, your guy, and the way you guys always keep that content going on Sports in the Bay. So appreciate you and have
And
fun tomorrow night.
we
Chase.
need to
Oh, right. I'm sorry. Yeah,
memoriam. I can't
you
get
go
it
for it.
right.
Yeah, take that on because we lost a really good friend of the show, and someone personally who
Yeah,
was a mentor to you.
yeah. Nate Oliver, who had joined us earlier this season, um, talking about Willie Mays, and the impact he made on baseball to him as a young baseball player himself. and he shared some great stories with us about Willie Mays. And we lost him. He's also a family member of mine, so we lost him about a month ago to cancer. Kind of blind all. He was diagnosed one minute, and the next minute, it was downhill from there. So I just want to honor my cousin Ace and the impact that he made in the community as a whole. I mean, his homegoing was beautiful, and it was just made me so proud to know that my cousin impacted so many lives and so many people of all walks of life. So he is going to be missed. Miss him already, and yeah, just keep my cousin Gloria in your prayers. That's his wife.
He was always gracious to us on the show and such great insights and um, just a good guy. So yeah, shout out to the Oliver family. Condolences to you and the Oliver family, and we wish him well.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, we wish them well. All right, Felicia, we are going to get up out of here. We will be back next week ish. Sports in the Bay, Felicia and Eddrick. Don't forget, like us on Facebook. You can get us on YouTube, Instagram, anywhere you get your social media. Look for Sports in the Bay. Like and subscribe, and we'll keep checking in with you guys. Felicia, thanks again.
Thank you. Thanks,
All right,
guys.
Sports in the Bay, Felicia and Eddrick. Peace.